Hello and welcome. I'm your host Elizibar, and this is pretty much just in time for Halloween. Oh, is that scary? Okay, I tried. I tried. The cover is somewhat indicative of the stuff in the book, and I guess we'll get to what I mean by that. So, the Spectre story that starts us off is actually pretty good. There's actually a little bit of mystery, a little bit of investigative work here. I gotta admit, the Spectre's not a character I'm super familiar with, but by the time get to the part where he's like confronting the villain and fighting it, things have gone super duper strange. And it's just a lot of fun to look at. It's a lot of fun to read. The only weird thing, and maybe this is like a normal Spectre trope, but all his dialogue boxes have that little yellow dot in them. It really distracted me. Like I said, the Spectre's not a character I'm super. So maybe that's a normal Spectre thing. Whatever the case is, Dan Jurgens did a great job writing that story. The art. Who did the art? I didn't notice who did the art. Art is pretty nice too. Got eaten and inked by Wayne Boucher. Hi-Fi is the color. All right. Anyway, it was a great story. It's fun. It's a good introduction to like spooky, magicy murder stuff. Uh, Absolutely fun. It's the plot of it is pretty simple. This young woman comes to her death. She's an old woman. What happened? Well, you the spirit of vengeance, right? I enjoyed it. This story, on the other hand, just kind of there. Child of the Night. This girl's running from these dudes, and the gentleman ghost is there, and he does gentleman ghosty things. And the art's okay. Something about the coloring feels a little off, but it also feels otherworldly, so I like that aspect of it. But the story itself, yeah, I think I already said it best when it's just there. Sadly, this Constantine story, which is pretty short, it's also one of the new ones, um, by John Layman. Like this story is also just there. This is filler. This is a good story. It's not an interesting story. Literal filler. Take up one, two, five, seven. Looks like 8 pages of the. But you do get some neat ghosty dudes. That's kind of cool. Reprinted stuff. This Batman story, pretty awesome. About a killer goes through all the like steps, like arranges all the murders like in horror movies. Batman has to chase the person down, and you can see the prime suspect run him right there. Uh, Excellent story. Got a twist naturally. You can't have a modern horror movie without tweed. Ever since M. Night Shyamalan rolled along and revolutionized horror, the tweed in the order of the day. Twist in the story. It's pretty good. Who did this? Gary Dauberman, writer. Riccardo Federici was the artist. It's all right. It's all right. I got no complaints. The Superman story is pretty good. Not for the actual villain, but for getting into Superman's head. All the things he has to worry about. Like, what if he does go to sleep at the wrong moment? Doesn't wake up in time to save somebody. Like that kind of weighty stuff sits on his head. And the villain, like getting in there and like playing with his fears and stuff, is also kind of cool. But I really like that dive into Superman's. Oh, it says years ago. I thought it said fears ago. I was gonna be like, oh, that's a great pun, and then it wasn't a pun. I don't know who did this story, but this was pretty good. Let's see, by Mags Visaggio. Well, congratulations. This is way better than the book I have signed by Mags. Eternity Girl #1. That's what I got. Because it was signed. Midtown Comics was selling it for like $2 or something, 30 or that, and I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. This is actually a pretty good Super. Anybody who says this wasn't, I don't think they really. This totally gets Superman. Maybe the dialogue seems kind of wordy. I don't know that Superman necessarily sounds like Superman, but I really like the premise and the pacing of the story. And the villain, look at this man. Look at this art. Is that good looking? I really like the way the monster looks. That is scary. You got this Wonder Woman Dead Man story, and I gotta admit, it didn't really do a lot for me. It's just kind of there, but so Cheetah and Felix Faust are like trying to summon, an elder thing over here. You see it on the right, and spell to summon it gives Dead Man a corporeal form, and so helps Wonder Woman fight them, and da 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 da. And it's not really ghosty. This is like straight up act like this is a straight up superhero book comic. There's no like all these other stories that we've had so far. Spectre one, Child of the Night, Gorehound, Strange Visitor. Like, okay, so all of them but the Constantine story that I didn't really like, they've all had an element of kind of mystery, kind of investigation, some kind of wonder. Constantine's story is just basically fight a demon. Wonder Woman, a Dead Man story is totally just beat up Cheetah. That's it. Although, having said that, the best comic in this book is Katana and Black Lightning. This is like a straight up action superhero story. Played straight, done well. Look at the monster they're fighting. Look at the beautiful art. The pacing is intense. You don't get to breathe until you're done reading the story. Like, you pick this story up, you start reading it, you just go boom, boom, boom through the pages until you're done. Get introduced to this weird aspect of Japanese folklore. Like, basically all the Japanese like folklore demons are except, and then there's something ridiculous like it eats with its butt or something, you know? Boom. It's a normal person, but when it pulls its cloak down, it reveals a giant gaping maw. And boy, look at it. Isn't that disgusting? Gross. It's menacing and gross. Black Lightning handles it. Katana helps him. It's an awesome story. Totally bucks the trend. Like, a lot of the stories in here, very investigative and spooky. This one just goes straight for, you know what? We're going to kick evil's buttocks. And they do. And it's great. I think I saw Brian Hill wrote this. It's excellent. Oh man, look at Hannah. Get at an angle. Boom. Oh, now I've hit the camera, so now the camera's getting in on this shaking action. It's great stuff. Then there's this. I'm reading Deceased. It's the same story. It's what if DC had zombies? That's it. We're not even gonna go into it. The art's okay, but it's not great, and that's it. We're not gonna look at it anymore. That's how non-noticeable that story was. And then maybe the thing that was the most fun, seriously, was actually this Zatanna story where it's Halloween. She's talking to her dad, and her dad's like, "Yo, go do the Halloween thing." And so she hangs out with some kids, and I guess they're teenagers, and she gives them a good time. She gives them a little taste of the supernatural, and it's just fun. It's a great way to end because it's ending on kind of a positive note, as opposed to a lot of these other stories which are very down and depressing, that kind of thing. So Ghosts was actually a fun book. I didn't think it was gonna be. Didn't think it was gonna be. Let me say that one more time. I didn't think it was gonna be. Like, how can you do this, man? How can you have like ghosts and villains, right? How can you have both of these things at the same time? Well, turns out you really can. You really can, and they did it well. I had a lot of fun reading this. I wonder if there's another issue that's like on the way. Like, it's not clear to me if there's going to be another one or if this was special or whatever. But boy, I think I'd like to read another book full of like another anthology of this like spooky stuff because it was a great time. Absolutely great time. Check it out if you haven't already. I got this at Walmart, but who knows what DC is going to do, whether they're going to put this in other stores or not. I don't know. I don't work for DC. If I did, I'd tell them, this should be in every store that you can find. This should be on the shelf in Barnes and Noble. Anybody actually shop at Barnes and Noble anymore? I mean, I go in there. Man, last time I went to Barnes and Noble, they had shrunk the graphic novel section like way down. It used to be like two rows. It was, Barnes and Noble on the east side of town, and now it was just kind of like one row. And manga had been shrunk, and I don't think people are buying things. Like, I don't think anybody's buying anything anymore. I really don't. That's got nothing to do with this book. Check it out. Bye bye.